Yeah, Kingdom Hearts theme. Let's bang our heads to that. Anyways. So, up. Just like a little bit of surgery. Surgery. Heather. Hello. Talked to my mother today. Had to explain to her what sodomy was. So, for the sake of, I don't know, talking, there's a member of Supreme Court named Clarence Thompson, or Clarence Thomas. He was one of the key factors in ruling against Roe v. Wade and overturning that. In the process of doing that, he said this will be a good opportunity to look at other cases, such as contraceptions regarding married couples, and sodomy laws, and gay marriage. So I had explained to my mom that sodomy was regarding gay intimacy. Really, I should have just told her straight up it was just anal sex and oral sex, but whatever. Doesn't matter, that's not how it's going to get enforced. But the talk is right now is that that's going to get revisited, and they're possibly going to rule against that. So pretty soon it'll be illegal for me and my husband's to be together. if that happens in that way. There hasn't been any sodomy laws in Ohio, but the thing is that there could be after sodomy laws are deemed legal. So if that happens, we either gotta hang low, which will probably be the more realistic outcome. Keep our heads down, you know, take down the flag and everything, or possibly look to leaving the country, which won't be an option if inflation gets too big, or the places that we're interested in just don't allow any immigrants or allow us in. Let's stamp ourselves. Finally. I'm gonna fuck this up. Nope, we're good to go. So I really want to get fancy, I can sand this down. Try that. Really? You're gonna overheat that quick? Alright, let's cap this. get rid of the scraps. This won't take long to dry, so I'll just see if there's any more. Perfect. So this doesn't move around. Hey, Blazy. Welcome. I didn't get to tell you that we might be moving again. Depends how things play out in the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah, I guess it's a combination of things too, right? It's not just the president. It's also like a matter of like how the local authorities react to things, how certain people might get emboldened and attack us. So, you know what? I can just pull up a video as to why. But mainly it's all in relation to the courts. The Supreme Court. The country that Chris Store is out serving right now.
That sad, loudly crying face.
Oh, give me a second here, I'll pull it up. You have no idea. I was crying earlier this morning about it.
I'm wearing Cried Force criminal justice jacket.
Let's see here. I'm not doing any mainstream news reports. Fuck you guys. There we go.
It's official. Roe v. Wade has been overturned by the Supreme Court. So for the first time in the history of the Supreme Court, they have taken away a fundamental constitutional right. This is unprecedented, and this is a very dark day in American history because we are losing a fundamental constitutional right that we've had for 50 years. For a lot of people, this is all that we've known. I've only lived in a world where abortion is safe and legal in this country. But now, that changes immediately. So as Politico reports, the Supreme Court on Friday revoked the constitutional right to an abortion that has been in place for half a century, overturning Roe v. Wade on a 5-4 vote, clearing the way for dozens of states to swiftly ban the procedure and throwing the country into uncharted political, legal, social, and medical territory. The majority opinion, authored by Justice Samuel Alito, hewed closely to the draft version obtained exclusively by Politico and published in early May. In its official opinion, the court's conservative majority went beyond simply resolving the case before them, Mississippi's near ban on abortion at 15 weeks of pregnancy, and instead overturned both Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey, long-standing precedents that barred states from banning abortion before the point of fetal viability. Now we'll get to the dissenting opinion from the liberal justices here in a moment, but for a second I just want you to stop and cherish this moment that we're in right now. Because as bad as it may seem, 1, 2, 3 years from now, it is going to get even worse. We will have even less rights. So as bad as it is right now, this is only the beginning. And the right is broadcasting their intent to go even further. For example, former Vice President Mike Pence celebrated this news, saying, "Today life won," and he called for a total ban on abortion in all 50 states. And abortion is not the only civil right that's under threat, because as Politico continues, and while Alito's opinion insisted that overturning Roe and Casey endangered no rights guaranteed by other past court decisions, Justice Clarence Thomas's view of what that assurance meant seemed certain to fuel fears that rulings many Americans rely on could be next on the chopping block. Quote, "In future cases, we should reconsider all of this court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell." Thomas wrote in a solo concurrence, referring to a 1965 decision finding a right to contraception for married couples, a 2003 decision that overturned criminal sodomy laws, and a 2015 decision requiring states to recognize same-sex marriages. Quote, "We have a duty to correct the error established in those precedents." So Justice Clarence Thomas makes it abundantly clear that this is only the beginning. He's saying in his concurring opinion that we should not just ban gay marriages, not just ban contraception, but also ban sodomy once again. So they're trying to make being gay, gay intimacy, illegal in the United States. So if you are a married couple 2-3 years from now, it's not just the case that your marriage might be invalidated, but you being in a gay relationship might be deemed illegal. That's where we're at in the United States once again. Now, the liberal justices warned that this would be the case in their dissenting opinion, writing, "Withdrawing a woman's right to choose whether to continue a pregnancy does not mean that no choice is being made. It means that a majority of today's court has wrenched this choice from women and given it to the states," the Democratic-appointed justices wrote. "Women have relied on Roe and Casey in this way for 50 years. Many have never known anything else. When Roe and Casey disappear, the loss of power, control, and dignity will be immense." The court's liberals also predicted that the Republican-appointed majority's willingness to override a nearly half-century-old precedent bodes ill for other decisions regularly relied upon by Americans and for respect for the legal system. Quote, "It makes the court appear not restrained, but..."
So, yeah, they're looking to roll back laws regarding contraceptions, meaning, like, say, a married couple doesn't want to have kids and they don't want to bother with birth control, maybe just wear a condom, whatever. They can allow laws in any state to be deemed those illegal or whatever. Miranda rights are no longer there. So, like, the whole you have a right to remain silent, anything you can say can and will be used against you, that's gone. They don't have to tell you that anymore. I mean, they have to, but there's no punishment. There's no recourse available if they don't. So, I mean, really, they just don't have to. But yeah, as he was saying there, sodomy laws, once those are repealed, then technically the relationship I'm in right now is illegal. So yeah, just to emphasize that, imagine you have a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and you get a letter one day, or the state decides that no, you're not allowed to be together anymore. Uh, you can be denied a house, you can be denied a car, you can be denied medical treatment. Doesn't matter. As long as they can say it's based on religious belief. So, yeah, with that being said and everything, yeah, look, if things continue and we're able to, we'll be looking to peace out the United States. And that'll be the end of it. Okay, since it's not overheat so much. Alright. Yeah, while that dries, gotta re-sketch this out again. That's the way it was going? Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's like that's it. Yeah. So right now, you know, I mean, you can't just stress out about it every day, right? So, you know, I'm just going to continue doing my art and everything, and me and my husband's going to try to relax as much as we can, but we're also going to be planning for that possibility. See, one of the key factors I was looking into as to why a lot of people didn't leave Germany, like the Jews and the gay people back then, was because inflation was too high. Their money was fucking worthless outside of the country, as pretty much worthless inside the country. So that's another concern. It's like if inflation gets too ridiculous over here, then we might not even be able to afford to leave the country as things get worse for us. And yeah, we'll just have to keep our heads down. We'll have to pretend that we're not in a relationship. And even though that probably won't even matter, because what they'll do, all they'll have to do is look up the records of who got married, and they'll see, you know, me and my first husband, and that'll be it. That would be end of story. Such is life. The president did an executive order to protect Roe v. Wade, but that doesn't mean anything. He can't override the Supreme Court's ruling with that. And when a new president comes in, he'll just revoke it. He'll just reverse that. So when DeSantis gets elected, the Don't Say Gay bill is just going to come back into play on a nationwide scale. And that'll be it. Alright, so let's get Stitch's head in here. Essentially, I'm just drawing this upside down. Actually, I should go in the corner here.
I also
What do you mean he's been watching gore?
And I asked him,
Al Gore or actual gore?
and he sighed and DC he wants to be a cop.
Oh, well, I mean, this is like one of those things where like I only took like a few classes in law enforcement, and even those basic classes, they showed us like gore pictures. They showed us pictures of people who have been like shot and killed and everything.
Why or what?
So that's normal at least. No worries there. Yeah, Stitch picking his nose with his tongue like he does in the show.
Krister is 6 feet 2 inches. In uniform is 6 feet 5 inches. I think it's DC.
Gotta love America. I see how it goes now. Okay. I don't know if I should have an outline on any of this. I guess I should be very selective of where I put the blacks. See, his eye part starts like right at the top. Gonna be kind of like squinting a little bit there. I have a highlight. I guess a highlight should be there. I'm glad I put this piece back in there. That way I can figure out where the portions are a little more. Alright, let's get Stitch dancing. So there's finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4, and give them pads on the fingertips. We have a pad here, Claws. His uniform is 6'5". Crystal is 6'2". Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't see that you asked why. They show it to you just so that they can desensitize you to violence. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of cops who end up quitting because they witness a horrific murder scene or they just have a very traumatic event. As many problems as I have with cops and how they ran and everything, I have to also accept that reality too. Some of them end up quitting because of the corruption. Some end up quitting because of, yeah, just like a really horrible experience.
Wait, you don't like them. Why do you have Krister?
Speaking of which, I should probably check on one of my friends, Steve, and I haven't heard from him for a long time. He was a patron for a while, but, I'm not going to make any fuss about him not being it anymore. A little bit of his ear is going to show up here. Alright, let's flip this around. Get his digits and feet in there. I'm glad I went this route. So it's gonna be like essentially like he's planted himself on the frame. So yeah, part of his toe is going to be there. Pad there. I guess that'd be it, just those two. And yeah, we got his butt. And nub of a tail there. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have time to probably start painting this today. Just gotta sketch it out. Alright. And then we're gonna have some decorations on the side here. Use those tikis. A good example. So we're gonna have a tiki here. Gonna be different sizes, so. I guess I should have done the tikis first, but whatever. They're gonna be painted over again. I guess I should measure these out too. You won't see that one, but we'll see this one. See that one, but we'll see one right around here. And the next one will just be cut off. That one's going to be partly cut off. Part of a one there. Alright, well, start sketching these out. Figure out the colors for this too. These are kind of scary. Yeah, take some creative liberties here. Let's give the camera a break. Why do I have Christor as a mod? Despite my problems with police? Because despite the state of things, you know, just because he's going into law enforcement doesn't automatically make him completely irredeemable and horrible or anything. He hasn't disrespected me in any way. You know, respect is something you give to a person just because, you know, just for human decency. And respect is, you know, just as freely as you give it, though, of course, you can just take it away. And so there's no reason to not give him respect. And, you know, I also don't feel like it's my position to tell him what career path he should take. Like, if that's the career path he wants to take, there's no... All I can do is just, you know, just say the, my reasoning for my problems with the, the union of police officers. And yes, the thing, and I can't predict the future, and I don't know how things are going to turn out. So for all I know, maybe he ends up being a whistleblower in some cases or whatever, you know? Maybe he ends up being another Seprico. If you know who Seprico is, he was a police officer that exposed a great deal of corruption in the New York police force. He's also part of the reason why certain areas of that city actually improved once they started cracking down on these organizations. Essentially, police in New York in the 70s were just taking bribes outright. Like, the mob was essentially just paying the police to commit crime, to be allowed to commit crime, and that was it. You know, like, just pay your fee, and the cops are gonna, you know, the cops will leave you alone. It's essentially how it was working back then. And Seprico ended up getting shot in the face by a suspect due to the fact that he claims, and that's probably true, yeah, due to the fact that his fellow officers didn't give him any backup. Like, they just saw an opportunity to probably let him just get killed. They refused to help him in a situation when he was trying to break into a drug house. Which drugs should be legal, so we don't have that sort of thing happen in the first place. But that's besides the point. They refused to help him, and he got shot in the face. He survived. He moved to Italy because he knew that his life was going to be forfeit if he stayed around. But he's also the reason why there was a new organization formed to battle police corruption. I should have painted these first before I sketched out Stitch here again. How annoying. Oh well. I'm trying my best to not paint over everything, but I'm gonna have to. Actually, I have to bring this down a little bit. Get back in there. But yeah, I've made Christopher aware of all this. We've watched shit all the time of cops fucking up and doing weird things. And what not to do and everything. before I go here, that's something I can pull up real quick here. Just some examples. I'm sketching this out again. Oh well, yeah, live and learn. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, let's pull up some examples real quick while this camera cools off.
Aggressive, not modest, but grasping. In all those ways, today's decision takes aim. We fear at the rule of law, Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan wrote. Yeah, and they're absolutely correct about that. The court has zero legit.
Yeah, things like this. You're gonna look up something funny. Look up how many mass shooters have been shot, and look at how many have been captured, and then notice their skin tone.
So, 4th of July. We just finished 4th of July weekend, and as Christian Finnegan put it, 4th of July this year feels like attending a birthday party for someone in hospice. And I think that that is the truest tweet
Wow.
that I've ever seen, because we are witnessing the breakdown of American society. So celebrating feels awkward, to put it mildly. So 4th of July weekend started with 100 masked white supremacists from the group Patriot Front marching through Boston, and it ended with hundreds of Americans running for their lives following reports of an active shooter at Ben Franklin Parkway in Philadelphia. And really, none of this is surprising, because when the government fails to meet the most basic needs of its citizens, when it lets ongoing crises get worse and worse, when it can't even really govern, we start to witness the breakdown of society. We see more political instability, we see more violence, and that was all on full display over 4th of July weekend. Now, the least surprising thing that took place over the weekend was, of course, another mass shooting that happened at a 4th of
Least
July parade
surprising
in
thing.
Highland Park, Illinois, where 6 people were killed and 38 were injured, at the time that I record this at least. Now, the suspect, Bobby Crimo, reportedly planned this attack for weeks. He shot at people with an AR-15 from a nearby rooftop, and later on in the evening, police found him and they apprehended him peacefully. Now, peaceful is a key word because it's going to play into a different story that we're going to talk about, but nonetheless, take a look at the mass shooting suspect being arrested.
I need more tiki examples.
It's a shooter. Yeah.
Now, there's a lot to say about this mass shooting. First of all, this is another one that happened, which nobody is surprised by, but Biden just signed bipartisan gun control into law a couple of weeks ago, but yet we already see another mass shooting. Why is that? Well, it's because that bipartisan gun control didn't even do the bare minimum. It didn't establish federal standards. It didn't ban
Of course it didn't.
AR-15s, which one was used to kill 6 people and injure 38 at the 4th of July parade. So if you don't actually do anything meaningful to prevent gun violence and you just pass something so you can point to it as you doing something, well, nothing is going to change. And so, you know, we're seeing mass shootings continue to take place. He broadcasted his intent to do violence. He shared violence on social media. He planned this attack for weeks. And that gun law that was just passed did not prevent this. Now, contrast the way that Bobby Crimo was apprehended with the way that police in Akron, Ohio responded to 25-year-old Jalen Walker during a routine traffic stop where he decided to run from police. Now, they're not going to peacefully apprehend him in this instance. As you're going to see, they're going to be incredibly violent, and just the forewarning, this video is extremely disturbing.
All right, I got to see this yet. All right, we're running for the car. Boom, 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 boom. Wow, he's dead. Yeah, there's no way he's not.
Now, in case you weren't keeping counts, 90 shots were fired by police, and 60 of them hit Jalen. He was shot 60 times. The mass shooting suspect, Bobby Crimo, wasn't shot a single time. He killed multiple people, but yet police in that instance managed to apprehend him peacefully. But Jalen stopped for an unknown reason, traffic stop presumably, shot 60 times. Now, as Julia Conley of Common Dreams reports, police claim Walker had fired a gun from his car, but his family disputes the claim, and Walker was reportedly unarmed when he left his vehicle and was chased on foot by the officers. Now, as Nina Turner puts it, the reason Robert Crimo is still alive and Jalen Walker is dead is structural anti-blackness, and that is absolutely correct. We've seen time and again mass shooting suspect after mass shooting suspect peacefully apprehended, and that's the way that it should be, but yet that same courtesy isn't extended to Black Americans. They are still getting killed by the police. And we're, 2 years out from the George Floyd protests? Not a single thing has changed. And again, this goes back to the government being able to respond to crises. So these crises, if you just leave them unaddressed, they get worse and worse and worse. And of course, this leads to anger. But when American citizens choose to exercise their First Amendment right and vocalize displeasure with the government and their treatment, these state-sanctioned murders against Black Americans, well, they are met with more violence. Militarized police arrived to intimidate and later assault protesters, and Jolly Good Ginger, who was there, shared this video proving that despite the narrative from Akron police or the mayor, protesters were not really being unruly in this instance. They were protesting, but they were peacefully protesting. They're allowed to do that, but as you're going to see, violence did break out, but this time it was because of the cops, not the protesters. Take a look.
They just want us to go home. This is a lawful assembly. They tear gassing us. They tear gassing us. Don't worry about it. It's just tear gas. Don't worry about it. It's just tear gas. It just stings a little bit. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's tear gas. It's tear gas.
All right, they're firing tear gas, guys.
It's tear gas. Fuck the police!
See, go.
Get your ass up here!
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Kinda sucks to be that in.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. They still shooting it. Look at it. They still shooting it.
Oh, yeah, they got all that military gear. They want to use it.
They got me. That's all right. Hey, look. Hey, look. It's all right. It ain't the first time I've been tear gas. Ain't the first time. We good. We good. Hey, we good. That was just a little bit of tear gas.
If I get a concealed and carry, I'm up there.
Let's go.
I wonder if they'll be a little more reluctant to do that shit.
Hey, look. Yeah, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, police
So
seem
the
a little
conclusion
reluctant when it
is
comes to
that
armed
Americans
protesters.
are going to continue to be abused. If you
Telling all these
respond
lefties they need to start arming up.
state-sanctioned violence with outrage, you will be met with more
Not to
state-sanctioned
shoot people,
violence.
just
Now,
the fact that
mass
you have
shootings
guns
in this
out
country will continue
kind of makes
to
them reluctant
happen.
to do things.
And if you expect the government to do anything about it that's actually meaningful, well, then you're horribly mistaken.
And naive.
The one thing that I think is consistent is we all know this is going to keep happening. Black Americans will continue to be murdered by police, mass shootings will continue to happen, and the government is going to allow this violence to continue because, again, it is incapable of governing. That is the only expectation that we all have. This is just going to keep happening, and nobody reasonably expects anything to be done to address these crises, to address the obvious blatant racism in the system, the anti-blackness that is inherent within American institutions. So, yeah. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Do you feel free? Do you feel like celebrating? You know, I myself really didn't. So, you know, if you had a reason to
I had a day off.
meet with family, have a barbecue or something, then I think that you shouldn't deny yourself that pleasure. But I mean, this is why a lot of people just don't feel very enthusiastic. We're losing civil rights and civil liberties, and the US government is either violent against us directly or they enable violence through inaction. And we all expect this to keep happening because, again, the government has completely broken down and is incapable of doing the bare minimum to meet our needs and protect us. In fact, they're not just refusing to protect us, they're doing violence against us. And this will continue to happen until it all crumbles down.
This episode brought to you by Stamps.com. Why go to the store to get stamps when you can have them printed right at home for your convenience?
Okay. Okay, should I put one here? Yeah, I'm gonna have to put one here. Keep it like symmetrical a little bit. So yeah, I mean that's part of the craziness that, you know, me and Crystal have been watching. And yeah, he's showing me some things too where I'm like, yeah, can't leave it to a crazy fuck like that to make me agree with their actions there. So but it is 9 o'clock. It's past 9. Quickly record myself getting this thing on here, and then when I call it for now, and I should be on probably. I always say I'll probably be on tomorrow, but you know it's a weekend, so probably not. I do hope I can just like have a session where I get all my videos done. I got 2 more videos I want to get done this weekend, and actually no, 3 more videos because I started another one. 4 more videos. 4 videos. 5. 6. About 6. Yeah, there's 6. I gotta script them out for at least a couple of them, but other than that, yeah, there's 6 I want to try to get filmed this weekend. And maybe we can spend a week editing all of them together. So, good night. Good luck. Thanks for hanging out.